Hey guys, what's up? It's Rhett here with another trade video. I'm about to head out of town to Orlando, so I'm gonna pre-record these uploads. So if I'm wearing the same thing, don't worry. I'm just on vacation. Um, but getting into the video, y'all have been loving my trade videos. This is a different one. Y'all hate when I put Cam in it. Cam is not in this trade video for you Cam fans. Don't have to worry about that. Um, this is a trade I was thinking of as a dark horse trade, but then I saw an article on it, so I'm just gonna make a whole video on it. It was and this wasn't what I was expecting to give up, but it makes sense. This trade is the Atlanta Hawks trading to the Detroit Pistons for Jerami Grant. How it works on both sides. For us, this would be if John Collins gets a max and we don't want to match it, this is when you would bring in somebody to take his spot. And I think Jerami Grant's better than Collins because he can dribble, score at all three levels, and play defense. And you need another guy who can actually handle the ball at the four, which would be nice, which Collins can't. So that's the only way we would get him is if we don't re-sign Collins. For them, they're rebuilding. He doesn't fit the mold of their rebuild because he's an older player and they're going to be building around Cunningham, maybe Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart, and then Killian Hayes is somewhere in there. And he's an older player who probably wants to win, but doesn't fit the mold of a rebuilding team that's going to build around probably Cade Cunningham if they'll draft. So the trade I saw online was Danilo Gallinari, because that makes the contracts work. The 20th pick this year and Onyeka Okongwu for Jerami Grant. And I like this deal a lot. Yes, Onyeka is good, but he is a building block. He was good some games, but he wasn't really there in the regular season. So he's a developmental piece. So if you could get rid of him and bring in a starting caliber player, an all-star level player in Jerami Grant, for that'd be great. Gallinari, I do not want to get rid of, which sucks because he's a great off-the-bench scorer, but it makes the money work. And because Grant's on a 3-year, I forget how much money deal. I think it's 3 years, $80 million maybe. Gallo was on a 3 years, $60 million. I think Grant would still have 3 years left on his contract. I do think he signed a 4-year, $80 million deal. So I think he would have 3 years left at $20 million, going into the prime of his career as a 3D player who could start without John. But you would have to bring in another backup center and a backup power forward in this scenario. Because John would be gone, Gallinari would be gone. But I think this would upgrade your starting lineup. It wouldn't. Capella would run the pick and rolls, and Grant could actually score on his own. He could ISO. He could do pick and rolls, and it would be a different atmosphere because our offense right now is just Trey. But with Grant, he could run the offense with the second unit. He can run it when Trey's in there and give Trey breaks, and he can play amazing defense on 1 through 5, which John can't do. So I like this trade. I would do it. This is obviously getting rid of John. So you could sign some free agents to fill up the backup center role and the backup power forward role. You could bring in a guy like Paul Millsap on a $5 million deal to be the backup power forward and play you good minutes. I love him. Loved him in Atlanta. He could be great. And then you could go get a backup center, whether that's like a Brook Lopez type player, something like that. Or you could get a Jay Crowder at backup power forward, and you would build more depth that way. Save money to pay your Cams, your Hunter, your Trey, your Herders. And I would like this because this would bring more defense. You'd have Hunter starting. You would have Jerami Grant starting and Capella starting. 3 all defensive level players. And your guards would still be weak at defense, Bogey and Trey. And then maybe Cam, he wouldn't start yet, but in a year or two, Bogey could be gone and he could be starting, Cam could. And you'd have 4 great defensive players and 1 Trey, who's not bad, but he's not good at defense. So if you made this trade that next year, Grant averaged 22 points this year, which is better than what Collins did. He shot worse from 3 by John by like 2%, but all his other stats were better. So your starting lineup would be Trey, Bogey, Hunter, Grant, Capella. That's solid. Your bench would be probably Lou Will, Cam, Kev, and then you would need to bring in a center and a power forward. Or maybe, I don't see them playing Nathan Knight. You would need to bring in a center and a power forward off the bench to help you out. And you would have an upgraded team. Yes, John is a great player and we like him. Grant can do more defensively, more offensively than John can. I don't see this happening because it sounds like they're going to bring John back on whatever they can, but he's not a max player. I wouldn't pay him max money. I would pay Grant more than I would pay Collins. So hopefully we are smart enough not to waste our money there. But yeah, let me know what you think. Would you all be interested in a Jerami Grant trade? Till next video, peace.